Some stories fade away, others are never seen again. Subscribe before the next mystery disappears. Case number 1. It started as a missing person report. He was supposed to meet a friend and never arrived. Days passed and investigators found no trace of him. For years, the case sat untouched, another file collecting dust. Then one morning, decades later, a property search unearthed a locked shed. Inside was the scent of decay, and under a layer of concrete, a gruesome discovery. The remains belonged not only to the man who vanished years ago, but also to another victim who had disappeared around the same time. Both had suffered the same brutal fate. DNA evidence finally linked it all to one man, someone who'd lived quietly among them the entire daytime. When questioned, he denied everything, but the proof beneath his own floor told the truth. After 20 years, 2 families finally had answers, and the man responsible was sentenced to life behind bars. But sometimes, justice doesn't come from a killer's confession. It comes from time itself. And time was about to reveal another forgotten truth. Case number 2. They were young, walking home from a convenience store, laughing under the glow of streetlights. It was supposed to be an ordinary night. Hours later, both were found dead, their lives ended by a stranger who vanished without a trace. Investigators found little evidence, just fragments, footprints, and pain that haunted 2 families for decades. Decades later, modern DNA analysis pulled a forgotten sample from an old evidence box. What surfaced was a match to a man long dead, buried quietly years earlier. He had been right there all along, hiding behind time itself. His name didn't matter anymore, only that his victims were finally remembered. Justice came late, but it came. The cold silence of 37 years broke when truth finally spoke through science. For decades, the answers hid in dust and silence, until one small piece of evidence spoke louder than words. And what it said would rewrite another story. Case number 3. He was closing up late at night, the hum of traffic his only company. When police arrived the next morning, they found him lying near the counter, stabbed multiple times. The scene was strange, the register untouched, no motive, no witness. For decades, the case sat unsolved. Then came a cigarette butt. One small piece of trash overlooked in 1985 became the key to unlocking everything. With new technology, investigators found a DNA profile, linking it to a man already serving time. He had confessed to similar crimes, but never this one. When confronted, he admitted it like it was nothing. 35 years of questions ended with a single match, and for once, the truth didn't hide behind the years. Some are caught by science, others by memory. But a few are found only when someone refuses to stop looking. Case number 4. For nearly half a century, no one knew his name. His bones were found on a lonely stretch of wilderness. No ID, no clues, only silence. Locals called him John Doe, and for decades his file remained untouched, just another forgotten soul. Then one group of volunteers refused to let it end there. Using genealogy and fragments of DNA preserved on old evidence, they traced a distant relative. Piece by piece, they built his story backward, a man once alive, loved, and missed, whose name had been erased by time. When his identity was restored, investigators discovered the reason for his disappearance: a broken pact, a decision made between 2 people that ended in tragedy. He had never been murdered. He had taken his own life, keeping his secret buried in the dirt for almost 50 years. Every mystery has its ghosts. Some hide in the woods, and some hide in the flames. Case number 5. A fire ripped through a home, burning everything inside to ashes. When firefighters put it out, they found a single body, assumed to be the result of an accident. But something didn't feel right. The burn patterns were wrong, the position too staged. Forensics later revealed that the victim had been dead before the fire started. The blaze had been set to erase the truth. Investigators re-examined every inch of evidence, pulling surveillance footage from nearby streets. It showed a shadow moving from the house minutes before the flames erupted. DNA taken from the victim's belongings eventually led them straight to someone close, a friend who shared the same roof. After years of silence, a single trace of blood on a discarded object exposed the killer. What was thought to be an accident was in fact murder, carefully planned, perfectly timed, and finally undone by science. Even when the smoke clears, the truth can still be buried deep. And sometimes it waits decades for the light to find it. Case number 6. 2 women vanished days apart, both found lifeless, left in the same chilling way. Investigators at the time suspected a predator but never found proof. Then, decades later, an old evidence locker yielded a small discovery, a DNA kit, never tested. When they finally ran it, the results led to a man whose crimes had long been hidden behind his reputation. He had been close to both victims, a trusted figure. But when confronted with the evidence, the truth cracked him open. His face drained of color as he realized there was no escape left. After 20 years, justice arrived quietly, not through confession, but through the undeniable science he never believed would catch him. For the living, closure means an end. But for the dead, it means being remembered. Case number 7. The remains had been buried for decades before anyone knew who they belonged to. A skull, a few bones, a story lost to time. For investigators, it was one of many forgotten files, until a confession surfaced from an old serial killer claiming dozens of victims. He described her hair, her clothes, the last moment she was seen alive. When DNA was compared, it confirmed the impossible. She was one of his victims. Her name was finally restored, and her family learned what had happened after 40 years of silence. It didn't erase the pain, but it ended the waiting. The killer, already behind bars, never apologized, but for those left behind, her identity long hidden beneath the dirt was finally seen again. Some mysteries fade into silence, but the truth always finds its way back. These were the cold cases that refused to stay forgotten.